Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So today's assignment is the IXL strand BB.7, and that's a 6th grade strand. So to get you started, we're going to do a couple problems in the strand, and really what you guys are doing is you're going to be looking at a table and you have to come up with the equation for the already filled in table. So it's basically the opposite of what we did yesterday. Yesterday we were filling in parts of a table when they gave us the equation. Today we are finishing the equation, looking at the relationship in the table to write out the correct equation. So let's read the first problem. It says, a charity has been planting trees in community gardens in the city. In each garden, the charity plants 2 fewer plum trees than apple. That's going to be a big hint right there to help us out. So it's important to really read the word problem because we know that there's going to be 2 fewer plum than apple. Instantly right now, I know fewer means to subtract. So I'm going to put a little subtraction symbol there to help me out. Let A represent the number of apple trees. Okay, kind of figured that. Planted in a garden. And P represent the number of plum trees. So I've got A for apple, P for plum. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between A and P. Now, you could do this 2 different ways. You could read the word problem and say, okay, I know that I always have to have 2 fewer plum than apple. So meaning I would take the apple and I would subtract always 2 from it. Let's say the word problem was tricky and you didn't know the correct operation or the variables or the numbers that go into your equation. Well, let's look at the table then. Looking at the A column, which is apples, how do you get to the P column? So I'm thinking about, it's not multiplication. 6 times no number is 4. And it's got to be the same pattern through that compares the relationship between A and P. So I know it's not multiplication. I know it's not division. Well, I know from the word problem, 2 fewer means to subtract. So I'm going to take 6, and I know minus 2 equals 4. So that works. Is 7 minus 2, 5? That works. So I'm looking at how do I get from this to this? I know 8 minus 2 is 6, and I know 9 minus 2 is 7. So I know in my equation, if I did not know, or if I didn't really want to say, okay, 6, 7, 8, and 9, I'm calling it A. These are now represent A minus 2 equals, well, these numbers right here all represented P. So there's my equation. Now they have it starting with P equals A minus, well, I know that number is going to be 2. So you could look at this a couple different ways. You could read the word problem, and if you know instantly what the operation is and what's the correct number or the variable, you could put it in. But if you didn't, use your table, because we practice rate tables all in that second and third unit. So really looking at the relationship between the 2 variables. Let's try a little bit of a harder one so Miss Henderson and I know that we can send you off to do the IXL. And just to kind of remember, if you are stuck on an IXL problem, a lot of you don't take the time to scroll down and read how to complete the problem if you get it wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're getting problems incorrect, scroll down, walk yourself how to do the problem, because it's just going to keep decreasing your SMART score. And remember, you want to get an 80 or above on BB.7. So let's practice one more problem, and I'll do it in a different color. So each shuttle bus has 13 passenger seats. I'm going to highlight that. Let B represent the number of shuttle buses. So B is buses. And S represent the total passenger seats. So I know that S is my total number of seats and B is the number of buses. So one bus has 13 seats. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between B and S. So right here, I know that one bus has 13 seats. Okay. What is the relationship between B and S? 2 buses would have, 26 seats. 3 buses would have 39. 4 buses would have 52. So I'm going to start back up at the 1 bus. 1 times what number is 13? And I know it's multiplication. Okay? Each bus has 13 seats. So 2 times 13 is 26. Make sure that these all work out because you're looking for the same pattern, all right? 3 times 13 is 39, and 4 times 13 is 52. So now when we write out the equation, it's more general terms. We're calling S seats, we're calling B buses. What am I doing, or what did I do to this column? I took the number of buses, which we're calling B, and I multiplied it by 13 to equal the number of seats. Now let's clean this up because I'm not going to use the X to show multiplication. I'm also not going to start with the variable first. Remember, in algebra, we don't like that. So I'm going to write it as S equals 13, and I'm going to use no dot, but if you want, if IXL lets you, you can use the dot, but we should know by now that when we see a number touching a variable, that means to multiply. So I'm taking 13, which I found all right here, times the number of buses, okay, equal the number of seats. So that's it. That's what you're doing today. You're doing BB.7. Again, as always, reach out to Miss Henderson or myself if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.